All right, folks, we talked about this last night on our weekly meetup, and man, did it kind of materialize. That's wheat and agriculture stocks. So I want to talk about that first before we talk about the NASDAQ, because this is really shocking kind of price action. Wheat up 3.26% in the morning, WEAT to $12. You can see there, this chart is just no words, right? It really, really good chart. And you had India this weekend ban wheat exports. I think that has a lot to do with this. You have the tensions in Russia increasing with Finland and Sweden and NATO, and electricity being cut off to Finland. All that, I believe, is related to wheat this morning doing well. And you can see the rest of the ag sector: corn, soybean, ETF for agriculture stocks, agricultural commodity stocks is up this morning. Last night, we noted on our weekly meetup, fertilizer stocks might be a good pickup. I actually picked up both Moss and IPI in pre-market, and I'm pretty excited about it because they're down very sharply while corn and wheat and everything's at a high. So this is still very bullish for fertilizer stocks. So wow, you can look at all the other ag stocks doing great too. CF, another fertilizer stock. ANDE as a stock that can benefit from wheat prices. I may be looking at land as the agriculture is the real estate farm stock. You got Archer Daniels, ADM. You got the equipment manufacturer TWI. Then you have a bunch of these smaller ones, which are also doing great. If you want to trade those, I'm going to stay away from that. But if you're into that, AGRI, SandW, Arcadia, uh, Y10, you can see down here. Maybe even ARTW is going to be good today. So it's the agriculture stocks are on absolute fire and fuego this morning, big time. Very happy with my purchase of Moss and IPI this morning. And all right, so that's the deal with agriculture. I think that's the main sector that's really going to be in play this morning. So when we look at the NASDAQ, we talked about this last night. If we get a bear market rally, 315. Oh, the 20 DMA already came down this morning. So I had said 315. So we have to watch that. That may be even a little ambitious. But if we do happen to get to the 20 DMA, wherever that happens to be by the time it touches it, I'll definitely take some off the table. As I said last night, we can always run to the 50 or the 200 and get a surprise, vicious bear market squeeze. But the macro data out there is just not good at all. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't even get a bear market rally from here, aside from what we saw Friday. So that's the story with these. RK got in at 35. I talked about that last night in detail, and I'll be selling that if we do hit the 20 DMA on QQQ. So, man, these agriculture stocks on fire. Take a look at some of these. Some of these may be good for long-term buys, and some may be for trades. Again, I can't repeat enough. Moss and IPI. These fundamentally, they're printing so much money, and the charts technically have been murdered. So this looks like a gift today to me. I think Moss and IPI is going to be playing some catch up with corn and wheat prices at 52-week highs. I think we may be getting some catch up. ANDE. I'm going to repeat that. That may be a real interesting one to pick up as well. So agriculture stocks and fuego. All right. A couple stock specific items here. DWAC, I never play this, very overvalued, but they did have news which can move CFVI. They followed their S4 this morning. Could be good for the whole sector. So CFVI, hopefully we'll get a pop in there sometime, somewhere. And who knows, maybe I got to start monetizing that by selling covered calls. All right. DRIO got another upgrade. That's the third upgrade since earnings this morning. $18 price target from Cowen, maintained outperform. So we had last week an upgrade from Alliance from neutral to buy. We also had an upgrade from, which is not on the news feed here, from another firm, which I noted last night. I forgot the name of it. Which one that was, I don't know. You can check back last night's recording. That didn't make it into the news feed, but upgrades are coming. Price target increases are coming. That's the story with DRIO. KODK, man, been a big disappointment. Been losing a lot of money on this, unfortunately. This did not work out yet, but who knows? Maybe that window's open. It opened on Friday for insider buys. That's the only thing I got right now for for that as an immediate catalyst. They have decided to stay silent after the earnings call Friday. So, and this is going to go the way of the NASDAQ from here. Okay, you can see we're down 0.35%. So that's Kodak, unless there's a huge insider buy again. All right, I want to just note a couple others. RELL, which was a VIP pick at one point, introduced by Julian. We did some interviews. They were at a conference, Sidoti, last week. Immediately after the Sidoti conference right here ended, they just exploded with no news. So there must be someone or some people at Sidoti who liked what they heard, and they're buying up RELL. Fundamentally very strong company, low valuation. The story, a little bit tough. They're not really focused. They're not very dynamic speakers, and it's hard to kind of get excited about the company. But look, in Sidoti, they must have said something positive. So that's the story with RELL, and Twitter keeps going. Kind of doubt, I guess, that the deal will close or it may happen at a lower price with Elon Musk. Thankfully, I got out of that due to a technical breakdown the other week. And that's all I got. The rest of the FANG stocks, by the way, new FANG, we talked about this last night. They are also up this morning, I think, on this geopolitical tension. You can look across the board. You see uranium, CCJ, DNN. That's the N in the FANGs. Then you have F in FANGs, the fuels. Take a look at Oxy and KMI this morning, up as well. I believe UNG. Let me just switch to my other watch list here. Okay, let's see here. UNG is up 3%. USO down slightly though. So let's see how defense is doing. Do I have that up here? My favorite two defense stocks would be Lockheed Martin and Raytheon. So pre-market, not enough volume to really know what's going on there. And RTX, it actually is even with that bid, 92 is green today. So you see broad-based buying. I think the geopolitical news this weekend pretty bad. Whether it's India banning the export of wheat, or whether it's the tension between Russia, Finland, and Sweden, I think it's a pretty bad situation, and you see the response. So that's the story. I'm definitely going to be looking into increasing my exposure even more. I said I got Moss and IPI. I may want to look at ANDE because this has gotten killed. I don't want to be chasing stuff, right? Chasing stuff at the tops. But ANDE, great story. They had a bad quarter because of some hedging activities in relation to wheat. But going forward, they may be in good shape. This may be a great buy here as well. So those are the three I really like so far, as ANDE, Moss, and IPI. Land also got killed, by the way, after earnings. I quickly looked at I was reading through the transcript real quick this morning, and I think it may be because I'm not sure they really stand to benefit much in the near term from high wheat prices. They have their leases. They're getting paid what they're getting paid. They get a 3% increase like next year. They haven't made any recent acquisitions of land. But I did see there was at least one lease where they're paid based on the profit, the gross profit of the farmer. So maybe there's something here if you research this to see, can they get some upside with wheat prices? You know, what percent of their portfolio do they get upside based on that kind of arrangement with the farmers, and what percent is like fixed price where they only get a 3% increase per year? That may be something worth researching. I'm not ready to advocate for that one, but yeah, you guys definitely take a look at agriculture stocks, because this, not only technically but fundamentally, and the catalyst, I mean, this is explosive. Technically, it really is. I wouldn't be surprised to see 52-week highs here very soon. And the fundamentals behind it are not very good with what's happening in Russia and Ukraine, and now India banning the export of wheat. And this is a problem. This is actually one of the biggest reasons I'm very bearish on the macro and long term, because of consumer discretionary can really be hurt because you don't have demand destruction. I've talked about this before. It's worth saying again. As food prices go up, people don't eat less food. They just buy less of everything else. right? Which is really bad for the economy unless you're in agriculture stocks. So that's really a shocking, terrible development that uh, this seems to be continuing with India and the geopolitical situation in Russia and Ukraine. We see no catalyst yet that's turning that around. So it's a real big problem. And don't forget, also the supply is a big issue because it takes like a year to grow this stuff. So big problem. I don't like chasing, but I bet you have technical traders and breakout traders, whatever. Maybe they can make money on this stuff. I don't know. I'm not going to chase wheat, but look up and down the ag sector. Look at all these stocks. Look for things that are maybe at a support level, fundamental support, technical support, things that are lagging. Wheat and corn and soybean. And I think that's a place you want to be, not necessarily just for a trade today or this week, but even as a long-term hold. And we see DRIO here, only 381 shares. Someone getting excited about that Cohen increase to $18. So we nailed the technicals on this the last couple of days on DRIO. First, we had resistance at the 20 DMA on day one after earnings. Then we had resistance at the 50 DMA. Look at this 1 month chart. You can see the closing price here at 586 is higher than the closing price a month ago at 565. That's like impossible to find. You will not find this in any risk asset that has been sold off in the last month. Every single risk asset, even with Friday's move, is appreciably lower than where it was a month ago, except DRIO. So you're seeing this move to the 50 DMA and an RSI, which is not very high yet, with the MACD flipped. And I hesitate to say and predict that it's going to break the 50 DMA because the ramifications of that is just otherworldly. Like where are you going to see a risk asset that's going to break this 50 DMA and make a move to, I don't know, is the 200 DMA next? Like, I guess you get some resistance. You can find resistance level. Here you go. Here's a nice maybe $8. And then you're going to talk about $10 as that 200 DMA comes down. So the ramifications of this breaking the 50 DMA is almost impossible to comprehend in a market which is like killing risk assets. So I don't want to say it's going to break it. I don't want to predict it's going to break it. It could very well happen, but I can imagine shorts and bears are going to be trying to knock this thing down at 585 right here at the open. But I guess it depends also how the market does. So that's going to be very interesting to watch. I did not sell any, by the way. I bought a bunch below 5. I bought on that, went to 440 in pre-market Friday. I got in at like 487. I increased my position. Got to the resistance of 585. I did not sell. Perhaps that was a mistake. Maybe I'll look to take some off the table today, possibly. But wow, what developments for DRIO looks really good. If you're a VIP member, take a look at our presentation last night on is this an inflection point? I believe it could be DRIO hit an inflection point. It's just the market is not fun. We got retail numbers coming out in a couple days. I'll just leave you with this. I think it's either tomorrow or Wednesday, retail numbers people are going to be looking at. But there was also another number that came out. I don't know if I can see it in my newsfeed, but it was like a New York manufacturing index, which is way down. And I don't know if that's what turned futures around and now negative. It could be. But man, I am definitely bearish in the macro longer term. So do what you got to do. Maybe take some risk off. Maybe get some hedges in whatever form you want to get hedges. I prefer getting hedges in the FANG stocks and agriculture and fuels and things like that rather than straight like shorting the market. But you can do it the way you like. Let's go, man. It's going to be an exciting day. I'm pretty excited for Moss and IPI. I think I may even try some calls in my trading account for a little bit of juice. We'll see. May try that. All right, guys. I'll talk to you in the rooms. Have a great day.